Of course, as soon as I'm getting out here and I finish all my checks and everything, my daughter tells me she needs lunch. So it's now 2:30 and I'm out here. However, now our neighbor is getting their septic tank pumped and the wind is blowing in my direction. So I'm still going to go ahead and get this knocked out. I've got my seeds. I am all ready. I'm just going to use the landscaping staples to basically make this nice and a little more uniform, and also just so it'll stay put. I'm going to top this with a very thin layer of the Kellogg's potting soil, and then I'm just going to plant my seeds directly. I haven't decided. I'm probably going to do like rows of seeds again. I really just want to scatter random seeds, but I also want to know what variety is what, and I definitely want to know what the kale is. Not that it looks like lettuce. It doesn't when it's growing. It's a brassica. But I digress. My point is, I need to get this done. It's a little stinky and noisy out, but we're going to do it anyway. Okay, we've got all of our irrigation pinned down with landscape staples. Over time, as the dirt gets settled, as roots grow in, and as these lines get used to running, and like I've said before, especially in the heat, they will flatten on their own faster. But for now, the staples will hold them down, and then probably in about a month, I'll come and pull the staples up and they'll still stay like this. I might leave one at each end here and maybe one at each end there, but for now. So this is ready. We're going to go ahead and top it with a very thin layer of the potting mix. Then I'm going to plant my seeds directly in here. Give them a quick misting to water them in a little bit. We've got a few different lettuce. We've got kale. We've got some radishes. I always like to just throw radishes in. We've got some arugula. And we're also going to throw some flowers in at the end as well. So here we go. It is 3:08. Okay, we've put a very light layer of the potting soil down on top of the irrigation. We're going to go ahead and just do a light, quick spritzing of this to get it moist, kind of get it a little even. And I'm just going to lay the seeds on top pretty much lightly, mist them in, and that's about it. And then we're just going to let them go. I haven't decided if I'm going to cover this with fleece also, because the birds over there are a pain. But the birds haven't done as much damage over here. We do have the rats and we have rabbits. I don't know. With the berries in here, it makes it kind of hard. But I might try to cover this a little bit with fleece to protect it. But we'll see. Let's just see how it goes, huh? So I've picked out all the varieties that we're going to be planting out in this bed over here. And I have a little bit of an idea of where I'm going to do like the kale and the nasturtiums. But I am having a hard time deciding how I want to do the rest of everything that I'm planting. I can't decide if I want to do like rows, or if I want to do square foot gardening, or if I just want to sprinkle everything in and just, I don't know. Anybody else ever have this where it's I want to just get stuff in the ground, but at the same time, I can't really decide like how I want to put it in there, what makes the most sense. I'm probably going to end up just doing rows, I think. But again, we'll see. So it's 5:07. It's getting dark here, and while this is ready to be planted, I have not planted in it yet. And that's the only thing I'm getting done today, but at least I will have things planted. I think I'm going to set a goal to plant something or start something or propagate something every single day, because that's the only way at this point things are going to get planted, because there are too many other priorities other than planting. So I'm getting this bed planted right now. I do have the light over there. I'm not going to lie, it's cold. And I'm like bundled up. I got pants. I got my knee socks. I got a long sleeve shirt and a sweater and my boots. But I've got my plan. I'm going to go with the arugula and the lettuce that I'm using for leaf lettuce. That's going to be here in rows. Over here on this side, we're going to have our head lettuce and our kale spread out. And then I'm going to do nasturtiums around the corners and one on the middle there. And at the bottom here, we're going to sprinkle in our Cook's Custom Blend radishes. Just sprinkle them all along there. I love radishes. I can never get enough. And they're ready pretty quick. So that's the plan. The spacing will also let me add seeds in every couple weeks. I can go ahead and do another row right next to it, and that should work out. I do want to use up this space and this space, but I don't know yet what I'm going to put there. So that'll be an audible. I could always sprinkle in some more lettuce if I want, or who knows. Anyway, we're going to plant it out real quick and then call it a night out here until tomorrow. I'm cold, so I'm heading in for the night. It's 5:45, but this bed is done. So in addition to the berries, I wanted to plant something in here because otherwise all of this space is just wasted. Lettuce is a great crop to plant with a lot of things because it doesn't have a lot of nutritional value, so it's not going to take from the other plants. It can grow fine in acidic or non-acidic soil. It could do shade. It could do mottled shade. A lot of options with lettuce. So on this side, what I went at, well, I have the radishes going all along the bottom here, and I've got the nasturtium there, along in the middle here, just see what happens, and then the two corners there. So I've got the radishes, nasturtium. Obviously, we got our berries in there. So these are the lettuce and the greens that I use for cut and come again. That's when you just take the leaves from the outside of the lettuce. You don't take the whole head. I will continue with both of these, the head lettuce and the leaf lettuce, but more so the head lettuce, because that's where you do take the entire head of the lettuce. So we've got our icebergs, things like that over there. So over here on our cut and come again, we've got our arugula, buttercrunch, little gem, prizehead, devil's ear, and Yedikule. I did not yet plant the outrageous because I like to plant that as a spring, more of a spring lettuce usually, because that one is great even in the heat. Said it before, it allows me to have lettuce into June. It didn't bolt until June last year. So over here we got the kale back here for the chickens. Then we've got our iceberg lettuce, which is a head lettuce. We've got our sugarloaf endive. We've got our flashy buttergreen. What is this one? This is the Great Lakes 118 iceberg, our little gem, and then the red Treviso endive. So everything's planted, it's all watered in. When it comes to any seeds, really, you want to remember, you only need as much soil on top as the seed is small. So lettuce seeds are really, really small. What I do is I do a little trench for them, I sprinkle them in, and then I do the lightest dusting on top of soil. And I mist them in before I put the topsoil, and then I mist them again after. So that's what we're going to do. When they start coming up, lettuce also, especially if you get them when they're really small, lettuce do great with being pulled up, transplanted elsewhere. So all the extra ones that come in, I will probably take up and pot up, and then I could use those to interplant throughout my season because they do grow slower when they're over in my seeding hut and seedling hut versus out in the bed. So that's it for tonight. Tomorrow we will start with getting the stuff that's over here. My flash doesn't go that far. This stuff into the dumpster. We're going to put some diatomaceous earth in that bed tomorrow to help with the roly-poly situation. We're going to trim back those trees and then get this done. So, but at least tonight, I got another thing checked off my list. This bed is completely done. Now I just need to monitor stuff that's growing in, and that's pretty much it, and keep the oyas refilled. So that's it. Have a great night, guys. I'll be back out here tomorrow.